Hi everyone, good morning. Morning, thank you for joining in. I'll be starting shortly. Hi Waka, can you hear me clearly? Am I audible? Okay, all right. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining in today's webinar. It's actually great to have us all on the call today. While we're going to be looking at something really important, which is your revenue tracking and fee management generally for schools. I will be sharing my screen shortly so that we can get started. Just let me know when you can see my screen. Okay. All right, can everyone see my screen? Hi, Abubakar. Okay, great. Thank you. Um, in generally school management, it cannot really be overemphasized. Cover, the reality of what schools and then how we can make this payment easy and stress-free for the parents because we cannot eliminate the importance of having stress-free for the parents as their major and making it, to be more streamlined. Then we answer in school management when it comes to fee, right? Many schools lose up to 20 to 30% of their expected income, and due to issues that actually can be avoided. We see things like inconsistent payment tracking, right? Confusion about who has paid, how much has this person paid, and when. Sometimes parents pay part payments, sometimes they pay in full, and sometimes some parents want to pay before, some are late payers. So that confusion in tracking these payments is a very big issue. You also have financial transparency and dispute. So if you don't have a clear record or a very streamlined record, you would find it difficult to answer parents' queries. Okay, I saw I was sent a teller of 100,000, and now I'm seeing another request to pay 20,000. And what am I paying for? What is all of this? Is it the school or is it my child not bringing the right information back home? So if you don't have clear records, generally it becomes a dispute between school and parents, or between the boss and parents. Most times, if you bear with me, in most schools, most bosses, they are not always smiling. They are always, serious because there's a lot going on, on the back end. And then you have limited payment options for parents. So you give parents tellers, the children the teller, the school fee teller to take back to their parents, or you send a WhatsApp message on the school page for parents to make payments. And parents, with all of those processes, really have to just go to the bank. Other parents that are working 9 to 5, right? They can't leave work and go to the bank, which is the only option that they have, in making payments, right? So it can be very inconvenient, it serve as an inconvenience to the parents, and they don't get to pay on time, because they don't have other options. Then difficulty in generating reports. So it's without a centralized system. Obviously, it's very time consuming and it's error prone, right? In generating your reports, okay, who has paid for books, as an example, who has paid for socks, who has paid for fees, who has paid for PTA, right? Yeah, the school admin says, okay, the bossa, give me those records, right? If there are no centralized system, it's like really difficult for them to do that. Okay, am I audible enough? Sorry, can every other person, I think someone mentioned, hi, Abubakar, is the volume audible enough? Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. Like I mentioned, the boss are reconciling this payment to the school admin, or even if you have a store, where they need to know who has paid for what, so they can, give out these items to the students, right? If you don't have a centralized system, it's really error prone, right? You end up not balancing a lot of figures. Then there is a lack of streamlined communication and reminder system. This is very common with schools where you have to wait, because there are lots of things going on. Teachers have to teach, a lot of things happening in school, right? And then the only time you get to tell parents about making payments is maybe a week to an assessment, or a not paid, or your child do not take the assessment, and no. And some parents are like, this came at a very wrong time. I have so many things and all of that. So there is no very streamlined communication and reminder system, between the school and the parents. It's usually at that peak period when it is, and if you don't get your money as a school, the school fees coming before assessment, you can end up not getting the fee paid even after that particular term, and you have a lot of spillovers to the next term, right? And then you have resource drain on staffs. The time period of school fee drive is usually strenuous on the staff members, right? Because you see scenarios where they stop the students at the gates. Okay, if not paid school fees, come and form this line. Those that pay school fees, come here. Then you're not checking your books, to be sure that, okay, this person is coming in as paid. You end up doing school fees drive from morning till almost 12 noon, right? And it's just very destabilizing, which is a very big issue. And then you have inaccurate record keeping, right? At the end of the term, money is not accounted for. Sometimes you have excesses, sometimes you have major loss, and you can't even trace where that one is coming from, right? Where you have parents that will pay, maybe the fee is 100,000, and parents are paying maybe 95,000. That 5,000 naira will not stop you from telling the children to come in. And at the end of the term, it's 5,000 in 10 places. You know how much you know you've lost on that. So that's the reality of most schools, as regards their fee management, right? So for the parents now, on the parent side, it's really frustrating for the parents where you have scenarios where the parents like, oh, I've paid, but no one has acknowledged it. Yes, you have a WhatsApp group where parents, drop their receipt of payments, or you have one place where parents are, dropping that information. But what if at that point in time nobody acknowledges that, payments, right? Which happens a lot of times, right? Um, and the parents don't get a receipt instantly, right? When there's a dispute, or for them to prove their payment, it becomes, like difficult for them. You also have scenarios where parents are saying, oh, I don't even know what I'm owing. At this point, I keep getting bills. I don't know which one I paid for. Last week it was 50,000. I paid 40. This week it's 30,000. What am I paying? Which one am I paying? The struggle with unclear fee breakdown. They can't easily track what is due and why. It's like really frustrating for the parents, right? And then all those scenario where parents says, okay, why do I keep getting last minute reminders? This one is really the game changer when it comes to losing money in schools, right? Because parents are like, oh, it's a period in time when, okay, you didn't tell me before now, and then you're telling me 2 days, and you're reminding me in 2 days, 2 days to, assessment. That's lack of timely automated reminders leads to rushed payments and then unnecessary tension, right? So parents WhatsApp groups at this point usually flares up because there are lots of tension. Money always brings tension, yes. So why can't I just pay online like everything else? We know things have um, there are lots of changes now. You can even order for food online. You can order for certain things online. So why can't I pay, my fees online just like everything else, and not having to stress about teller? Why are you giving me tellers? The children sometimes they bring that tellers and they misplace it before they get home. So why can't I just limited payment options forces parents into inconvenient or outdated methods, which is what we see. Um, Another scenario is I don't know where my past payments went. So I've been making payments, but I can't even track, my payments. I don't have easy access to my payment history or even my receipts, my previous receipts, right? Which makes reconciling balances difficult for parents. I know I paid something, that's a parent now, but I don't know how much what is left for what I paid, or I can't see my past payment records, right? It's frustrating for parents. Then another issue that could be frustrating for parents is, do I have to pay for everything separately? So scattered fee collection for tuition. A group of persons on the WhatsApp group is collecting money for school fees. Another group is collecting money for extracurricular activities. Another group is collecting money for, we have an event going on and you have to pay so and so amounts, and all of that, which is really frustrating for the parents, right? So what do schools actually want, at this point? Yeah. What do schools actually want? Generally, what schools will tell you is, I want a dashboard that tracks who paid, what amounts and when, just at a glance, right? I don't have to be scrolling through papers or gathering papers around. I also want a fee configuration, where I can, for example, JS1 or grade 1, their invoice is different from grade 5. So I want to be able to customize this. I don't need to, most times what you see is schools giving out a PDF that has everybody's, every class payments, and parents will now have to go through that PDF and pick the one that is for their words in their different classes, right? So why don't we just customize it to, be configured per class in different sections and time? Schools also want, there will be conversations with schools. They want real time, fee status visibility. I want to know who has paid in real time or who is owing in real time, so we know if we're improving or we are declining. Seamless payments reconciliation. So if a parent has said they have paid, let's all see the record. The record that is visible to the school and the parent as regards their payment history, right? And then what of discounts? Discounts, scholarship automation, people that have met the criteria for, a discount or a scholarship, you know um let me be able to, see that, automated, and I don't need to follow up, or try to be reminded by the parent that, oh, but my child qualifies for a discount. Simple reminders and alerts for parents, right? So um, automate the alerts for parents. Let's a system that doesn't wait for, that time period when a lot of things are happening, but just automates, the alerts and reminders for parents. Sorry, can everyone still hear me? Am I still audible enough? Hi, Abubakar.
Yes, yes, I can. We can hear you clearly.
Okay,
Yes, we
thank
can hear
you.
you.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Just wanted to confirm that. Okay, another scenario, zero tolerance for revenue leakage. The worst thing that can happen to a school is you put in so much effort, so much money, and then revenue just be having a lot of leakages in term. It's less chasing, more collecting, right? Instant fee breakdown on parents portal. So as a parent, I want to view my balances and view my fees in real time, right? I can just see it in real time, what I'm owing, what I've paid, what is left for me, and then reminders via emails or SMS, as a reminder to the parents, and then auto-generated receipts and transaction history. No need for back and forth. I've paid, I've not paid. I paid 10,000. No, I paid 20,000. No, we saw 100,000. No, no back and forth, right? So if this is what you don't have in your school currently now, like all of this mentioned, you are really not alone, because a lot of schools want this as well, or haven't gotten to this point as well. And really that's the reason for this webinar, so we can get all schools to get to a point where you have zero, or let's say 0.1% revenue leakage, or even if there's going to be a leakage, let it be a leakage that can be tracked, right? So it can be corrected or improved on. Really the essence of this webinar, right? To get you as a school to that point, yeah. So yes, this is where SAFSIMS comes into play, right? It offers you a very streamlined process. You have real-time payment tracking. As an admin or a bosser, you can view payments instantly, knowing who has paid, how much, and where. You have it all at your fingertips, right? You have automated reminders and notifications. So SAFSIMS does all the work for you. You just focus on getting the students educated and giving out the best as a school, while SAFSIMS handles your reminders to the parents. So you can even automate your reminders, where at the start of the term, let the portal send out reminders to the parents every 2 weeks, right? It does that for you. Send it to them every week. If you want to even make it daily, it's very possible, right? So Samsung handles all of that, for you. And customer constant reminder really gets the parents, to pay. We've seen that over time. Samsung also offers you multiple payment options, right? So trash out your teller giving to parents, and just give them the flexibility, to pay and make process automated, right? So with an online or mobile payments for seamless and on-the-go transactions. So even if a parent is a 9 to 5 parent, even after work, during work, easily, as much as you can buy data or buy airtime, you can pay school fees or any fee that the school requires. Fee structure customization. So stretch out sending out PDF or long documentations to parents on, or go through this list and see what you have to pay for the term. Let's have things help you with the customization, where you send out just exactly what the parents need for their wards. If I have children in grade 1 and grade 2, let me just see the fee setup or the fee invoice for grade 1 and grade 2, and I just make payments seamlessly. I don't have to be scrolling through documents I shared with me, or a PDF you shared, or one big. Just make it easy, right? So Samsung does that for you. Fee structure customization for anything really. And also you can set the discount rules. So if a child has met the criteria, you just set discounts, for that particular child or for that particular family. Then you also have instant receipts. So don't bother about writing out the receipt or spending money on, having manual receipts. No, it's an automatically generated receipt that is sent out to the parents, right? So, and immediately parent pay, just the same way you get a notification that, oh, you bought so and so amount of data, you bought so and so amount of airtime. Samsung automates and sends immediate payment confirmation to the parents. Then you have a comprehensive report saying, don't scatter around with papers, don't have too much papers, just have a streamlined generate real-time reports, for every process as regards, fee management. So you see clear insights into outstanding balances, your payment statuses, and then trends, how payment is coming in, right? Samsung also gives you a parent portal, so parents can on their own end see their payment history, see the fees due, and then receive customized reminders. So this is where we actually go into the portal, and then let's see the walkthrough of, or let's see SAFSIMS in action as regards, streamlining your payment processes. So please confirm if you can still hear me. So I know we are all on the same page.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so let's switch over to SAFSIMS. So this is the SAFSIMS portal. This is me logged in as an admin. So just like every system, you can customize. Just saying, you can customize your phones. You can customize SAFSIMS to suit your school's requirement, and that is done by navigating to where you have your configuration, right? So you have your fee configuration here, and you start with your payment settings, right? This is where you set up your bank accounts, right? That is operational in the school. So SAFSIMS allows you to, put in different bank accounts for different classes. So there are scenarios where for a school, a particular bank account is for maybe say grade 1 to 5, and that bank account for just 1 to 3, and so on and so forth. You can do that. But if you have just one bank account for everyone in the school, just make it default, just like I've done here. So to create a bank account, you want to go to create bank account and then select the level. So instead of doing it one after the other, if your bank account applies to multiple classes, you can just select those multiple classes at once. So it eases you the stress of doing one after the other. Select your bank, put in your the account name, the account number, the school's official phone number, or the director's phone number, school official email or director's email, and then you save. Once that is done, you have your bank account created, right? SAFSIMS also gives you a flexibility on setup, right? So if you navigate to where I went to here, um, sorry, can we have anyone who's not?
Is
I have,
there
we have some people muted.
you can witness what they are doing it online.
I don't think
Just talk. Is it like
muted. Sorry if you want. Can we mute our mic, please? Okay. All right, so you have your settings here where if you want parents to be able to make part payments, you toggle this on, right? But if the policy in the school is if you are paying, you have to pay in full, just untoggle this. So this makes sure that the parents pay in full. But if you want to do part payments, you want to allow part payment for the parents, you just toggle it on. Then if you have a minimum percentage that even if it's a part payment, this is the minimum you can pay. Maybe say the minimum parents can pay as part payment is 50% or 25%. If that is applicable, you just toggle this on. Otherwise, you just leave it off. Um, if you want the parents to pay for the transaction charge, because every online payments there is a transaction charge. If you want that to be paid by the parents, you just select the parents. But if you want to add that the transaction charge to your fee, to the school fee payment, you just put it, or you the school want to handle the transaction charge, just put it up to the school, and then you save and apply. So once you're done with this setup, you want to go back and go to your fee configuration, right? Where this is where you set up your invoice. So you'd have invoice for different classes, right? Okay. So for invoice, to make it easy, you can actually like import. If we're done with first term, or maybe you want to create an invoice for first, second, and third term, just to make it easy, you can actually import invoice from previous term. So instead of creating it from scratch, just make the work easy, import and then edit it. If there's anything that should be taken off or added to it. Sometimes see first term and second term invoice with with very slight differences, right? You can do that. You can also import discounts. So if the discount for first term still applies to second term, you can import it, and automatically SAFSIMS attaches discounts um, each of the classes or the students that should have the discount. Now, to create an invoice, you want to go to create class invoice. But first, you add the list of all the items that would be on any invoice. That's all the invoices, from your admission fee to school fees to even book to transportation. You just create them here as an item by adding items. So you put in the name of the item, if it's PTA, any item that it's actually payable by the parents, you put it here. Description is, if it's necessary, you can add that, otherwise you skip. So once you're done creating the item list, you go to your create class invoice, right? So the same thing applies. If you have an invoice, maybe say an invoice for primary one and primary two, right, is similar, you can select multiple, multiple classes. Then you select the item. So I'll start with fee. Say this is, let me say 400,000 as an example. And the item type would be either compulsory or optional. So what this implies is that if I make an item compulsory, it means that every student in primary two and in all class has to pay for this item. It is compulsory. And if a parent has not paid, they are going to be, like defaulters, right? If I make the item optional, it means that as a parent, you can choose to add this to your bill or not. So things like, books, maybe say feeding, or PTA, that you have PTA that can be paid in the whole year, and parents can choose to pay it either maybe in first term, second term, or third term, right? Those can be made optional. So when the parents are paying, they can add it to their invoice or not. So like in second term, I want to buy new books or new school uniforms for my work. I can just add that to my bill, yeah, because it's an optional item. So once that is done, you'd want to save. But if you are sure your invoice is okay, you just save and apply, right? So once you're done creating your invoice, if you had saved initially without applying, you can actually do that at this point. Sorry, can everyone still hear me? Let me be sure my network is not. Hi, can everyone still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So for this primary five, I created an invoice, but I didn't apply it. So you can actually just apply the invoice. If you need to edit it, you come back to edit it. Now, once you're done creating your invoice, that is literally every setup you need to do at this point, right? The system now, if you navigate to fees, what it does is that it's automatically for every class gives you now a dashboard to work with, sort of, right? So you have your students list, that's every students in the class, what they have to pay for basically, and then you also have a dashboard. Let me confirm I changed my network. Okay, yeah, so you have a dashboard. So technically for this school, if you see here, I see the trend, just like we mentioned earlier. I see the outstanding and those that have paid, those that are still outstanding for each of the classes. Just a dashboard to give you an overview, and you can go back in terms and sessions. So you can actually see the trend or the move of payments basically. Now, if you go to students list, that's where you have every student in every class that invoice have been created for. You have them on display here, right? And then you can actually switch, or say probably I want to check for students and say just one or primary six, or any class, that actually you can filter out. You can also check out the payment type, those that have paid fully, those that have overpaid, those that have part paid, and those that have not yet paid. And these records basically can be downloaded, right? So you can download the record of your student payments. You can download records of your status, those that have paid and not paid. You can download item reports, so those that have paid for books, those that have paid for PTA, those that have paid for fees. And then you can also see your discount report. So this is really what the downloads look like. So this is your payments report. So this is the item here is for tuition. The item downloads. So those are paid for tuition in Bible's test is, these are the students and this is the total. Those are paid in junior secondary. So all the classes and for those that have, made payments, basically, it's here, and then, for each classes. And another download, like I mentioned, is your payment reports, right? So, for example, this one we have in the crèche class. These are those that have paid the cost. Basically, see how much they had to pay. If there's any discounts, you see it here. What is expected after the discounts? Have they paid? And then if they've paid, is there a balance? You see it here for each classes. So that was for crèche. This is for grade 1, right? And then at the end of all classes, because I have a lot of class here, you now see your total. So this is the total bill, for fee, your fee generally. This is the total discounts that was given for this term. This is the expected amount after the discount. And then this is the amount of those that have paid, total that have paid, and then this is what is outstanding. So this can be generated at any time in the term, right? To just keep track. So scrap out your books, your plenty papers, and just have it, at a go. You can also download the status report. So those that have paid, for each class, and those that have not paid. So this just makes the work easy for you. And then you can also see your discount reports. Those that have been giving discounts, in the school, and then, the balance. So most of these students have paid already, even after the discounts. So those are the records that you can, like, generate on the SAFSIMS portal, right? And then also here at this point, the admin can actually send out, payments linked to parents, right? So if I put this, I ticked out, certain students, or say for just 1 or for grade 1, they've not been paying, right? They can send out a payment link, right? Okay, let me send it out to all the parents instantly. There is one that you can schedule. I would actually show us that. But yeah, if you have a particular class that if they are not paying, like you notice the payment is low, you can send out payment, or you can notify defaulter. So what notify defaulter does is that it tells the parent, for every parent that is owing something, right? It sends a notification that, oh, you still have so and so to pay, please, make payment, and then a link for them to, make payment as well too. So at the same time as well, you have your transaction log, right? So here you see as the payment is being made. As parents are making payment, you're seeing it, right? So I mentioned multiple channels for parents. So yeah, you have multiple channels where they can making payment, and at your comfort as an admin, you're seeing that. You can decide to say, okay, I want to download the transaction log for June, as an example. Say maybe from the 3rd of June to 20th of June, I want to download that transaction log. You can easily, download it, right? Yeah, basically that's that. So let me switch over to the parents, and then let's see what it looks like, for the parents. So let me log in as a parent. So you remember I mentioned a parent portal, right? Making things easy for the parents. So this is what the parents portal looks like for fees. So when they log in and navigate to school fees, they see their invoice. So this is me having 4 children in the school. I am seeing just for my child, or for my kids, for first term, and I can view the invoice, right, of what I am supposed to pay for, right? So this is the amount I'm to pay for. I say, okay, maybe I want to pay the entire thing, or let me say I just want to pay 200,000 as an example, right? As a parent, I want to pay 200,000. I select my payments, and then I go to make payment. Yes, proceed. If you notice, I'm being sent, to choose however way I want to make payment. Do I want to make payment through my card? Do I want to transfer? Do I want to do a direct transfer to the school? Do I want to use USSD? Do I want to use my OPay to make payments? I have those options, right, to make payments to the school. And then once I didn't complete it, so this is unverified. And then once that payment is made by the parents, right, the school gets notification. They also get a history, but we'll get there. So you notice I have current term, which is first term for this. The school, like I mentioned, automating things and making it smart. Create your invoice for the entire session. Parents can pay, right? So if you notice here, I have this session 2023-24, and I can make payment for an entire session, right? So if I select making payment for an entire session, so it gives me, the breakdown. Total amount to pay this session is, 130,000 for this student, right? I can choose to expand that and say, okay, for this particular student, I want to remove third term, I want to pay for just first and second term, for just this child, or I want to pay for the entire term. So I'm seeing my word and then how much I'm to pay for, the entire session, and I can easily, very easily just make my payments, right? Or if I want to say I want to pay for first term and second term alone, at once, I can do that, right? On the portal. Now, I mentioned the receipt. So the parents will get a receipt from the school on their email, but they can also check and see their history, on their own payment history parts, right? So instead of coming to the school to get records from you as a school, they can actually, like check their payment history here. So you notice the payment I tried to initiate but I didn't complete is here as pending. I can choose to retry it. Maybe my card failed, or at that point maybe there was a network glitch. I can retry the payments. Well, I'm doing that now. Then for those that are successful, I can see my receipts, right? So the receipt carries the amount that was expected, amount that actually paid, and how much is remaining. So I don't have to bother my head about Danjuma Peter, about like his payments. I can see it all in the receipts, right? And then the date I paid and all of that, and I can download this receipt. So there's transparency on the parents, there's transparency on the school side as well. Okay, so for some schools, I know we'll be having questions of, oh, what if I go directly to the bank to pay? Still fine. As a parent, you can just record the payment. So instead of having that back and forth and still going back to WhatsApp to send, period payment to the admin there, and then waiting for confirmation, just come here. And I went to record payments, right? Just come here, select the bank you paid into, the school name, the teller number if you need to. It's not necessary. The payment dates, the date I made the payment. If I have a proof of payment, like those screenshots you want to send, upload it here. Now, these are the students, these are my children in the school, right? And these are all of them here. Say maybe I paid just 50,000, or let's say 200,000, and that 100,000, I want to clear out Zainab's fee. I want to clear out her third term, and maybe say part payments. Sorry, I want to clear out part payment on her second term. So it's showing me all this display because these are all the amounts, these are all the outstandings that I have as a parent. So for Danjuma, I'm paying just 20,000. For his third term, I want to pay, sorry, keep going back there. I want to pay, say maybe just 1,000. You can actually split it to show what you paid for, what that money was for, right? And then you submit the record. Or you can say, oh no, I just want to pay, I want to remove out, James from, I didn't pay for James, I didn't pay for Steven's third term. You remove it, amount to drop in, and then I submit the record. Once I submit the record, right, the school approves it. Once they approve it, I get a receipt instantly, right? I get a receipt instantly. So let's switch back to the admin and see what the admin gets to do, when the parents send those receipts. I'm navigating back to fees. Okay, let me navigate back to fees. So every payment that the parent sends through that channel comes here as an offline approval. Sorry, can everyone still hear me? Am I still audible?
Yes.
Okay, great. We'll be rounding up shortly. So I come here and then since it's an offline payment, I have to approve it or decline it. If I've seen it, I approve it, and automatically that amount that was approved is deducted from the student's amount. So if I approved for Joe, for John, 10,000 naira, 10,000 naira will be deducted from his fee, and the parent will get a receipt instantly. right? On the admin side as well too, you also get to see the receipts. It's automated, it's automatic. So you get to see the receipt also from your end. So if I go to a particular child, let's see, Ayomide, I view the child. Um, I'm seeing their fee, right? I also see a payment history. So remember, this receipt is automated. You're not creating it; the system is creating it. So I get to see their receipt as well to here, right? And then also for parents that come to the school directly to say, okay, this is my receipt of payments, right? Please give me a receipt or record my payments for me. As an admin, you can do that on your end by just going to actions and then receive payments. And then if it's a cash that was brought in or bank receipt or POS, you have POS in the school, you can just receive that payment. That can be done here as well. So do we have any questions? Are there any questions that anyone probably have? I think we can take questions at this point. Okay, do we have any questions from anyone?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
How are
sir.
you? How is the work?
Very well, thank you. Good to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation.
Mm. Thank you very much.
Actually, it is nice, and we are get from the presentation.
Mm.
My question is that I don't know if possible to get a personalized invoice. That is my concern. Personalized invoice where parents can use it, you understand, to make payment.
Okay, when you say personalized invoice, what do you mean? You mean like
Instead of that bulk class, if it is possible to get personalized invoice for the purpose, for example, so that the school can even print it for the purpose, you understand, individual.
okay, okay. So if I'm to get you,
And give it to them during vacation so that they can make payment before.
the school starts, right? Yeah. So yes, it's very important. Like we are finishing this third term. First term is around the corner, so it's important that parents actually have an invoice already. So basically, if you can see my screen,
Yeah.
yeah, if you can see my screen, I can view the invoice for each of the wards in this school, right? So for Stevens, this is his own invoice, right? This is his own invoice. This is his paying. I'm to pay tuition,
Yeah.
PTA, admission, books, bus fare for Stevens, right? And I can make his own payment. Then for another of my ward, say Aminu now, this is her own invoice, right, for her own class, and she is just fee and boarding fee that I'm to pay for. So all of this configuration for each of the classes is done, on the fee part where I mentioned here. So you create an invoice for, say, grade one. What happens is every student in SS1 invoice will be sent to the parents on for each of their wards in SS1 as you have created it as an admin. So you don't need to create for Stevens, Amino, individually. No, you just create an invoice the same way you do it for the class. Then the parent on their end, they will see the invoice for Stevens, Amino, and the rest of them. So you don't have to do it one after the other. If you have 400 students in the school, creating invoice individually will be a lot of work. Right. So you just do it for the class, and then the parents on their end, as many as
Yes,
have
exactly.
yeah,
Boring.
as many as have students in SS1, SS2, they would see it personalized on their own end. But yeah, and as an admin, you just create it for the class. Right. Does that answer the question?
Okay, thank you very much. I understand that. Yeah, somehow I understand that, but my problem is, sometimes it's not all the parents that you can carry along. You understand, digitally. You understand. Definitely, there must be some parents that you cannot.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't get them.
Especially, I'm talking by experience. I'm a school. They are mostly you can't get them. You understand, 100% digital. So that is
Yeah.
my main concern. So
Oh,
if it's possible, for example, is it possible to generate the invoice, you understand, at once, but individually, so that you can give them a paper where they can even take it to a bank branch, or they can take it to POS terminal, you understand, or
yeah.
something of that nature, to a merchant that can assist them in making the payment. That is my concern. I don't know
Yeah.
if
So
there
for
is that available.
yeah, there's a way around it. So for those parents that are not tech savvy, right? They're not, like the way you mentioned. What we've seen over time, right? What works in schools is that they have you create a login for them, right? You create that login for them, you do it, and then give it to them. So even if they want to go to a POS stand, even if they want to go to they have the school bank, the bank details of the school. They can make that payment, right? And then on their phones, because there's actually either on their phones or any center or wherever they want to, send that proof of payment to them. But for invoicing, you can actually create a login for them that they would use. What we've seen over time, right, is you'll be actually very shocked the fact that most parents I think would not catch up with certain things. Once they see the ease to doing things, we've seen it time and time again, where you have a school of say 500 parents and then maybe just 300 of them is by the time the term is over, we've noticed that from that 500, at least we've gotten 100 and to adopt. So you may think that, oh, but you'll be very shocked if they have their login details, they would actually do the process. So because it's not easy coming to the school and doing manual stuff, trust me. And over time, we've seen that work in a lot of schools, right? Parents will always choose the easy way. But if you don't tell them there's an easy way, you don't show them there's an easy way, they'll just go with the norm. But most times you see parents switching over to the easy way, basically. Yeah, even if it's not their own personal stuff, they usually get people around to do for them. But everybody likes the easy way. Just and banks going to the bank is a lot of work. Yeah, going and sometimes you spend a whole day at the bank, right? But if you have a other option of doing things easier, they would adopt to it. We've seen that happen time and time again. Do we have any other questions from anyone? Do we have any questions? Mr. Bamaini, are you currently on SAFSIMS? Do you have an account? Are you currently using SAFSIMS?
Yes, I'm currently on Substance, but I've not started operating it. I've not yet subscribed. I didn't make the subscription, but I'm on my way.
Okay.
So, because since we are in the third term, we are in the
Okay. So we actually look forward to having you and to definitely
third
get.
term. Hopefully, by first term, beginning of the next session.
Okay. So you would actually forward to having you. You to definitely get someone to assist you every step of the way, so you're not alone. We come bearing years of experience, and we can help to streamline processes for you. So, in conclusion, smart schools don't wait for change; they actually build it. So, avoid your revenue loss, um, prevent the whole policing parents around, and then have your full revenue visibility at your fingertips. So, if you're using SAFSIMS currently and you're not utilizing the fee module, you can actually like reach out to our support SAFSIMS support or SAFSIMS.com, or you check our website and someone would actually be with you in few minutes after that, or send a request to you so that we can set you up. And if you're not using SAFSIMS yet, so well, you can get started booking a demo with us, so we can give you a walkthrough as well too, and you can get started on SAFSIMS. And we also are still running our 30-day free trial currently, and then also our referral referral package. So you could be a part of our referral campaign where you can earn up to 2 million naira with the SAFSIMS referral package as well. So if you want more information, you can also see SAFSIMS.com and join others that are making money out of SAFSIMS by streamlining processes for schools. If there are no questions, I think this is a good time to call it a day. But do we have any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Saad
Yes,
from Prime Academy. Can you hear me?
very clearly, sir. Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Very well. Thank you.
Please, I have like 2 questions, please.
Okay. If you
Number one is although I joined late, so in the process of making payment, can the parent pay directly from their account? Is there like a gateway that would take them to the school account and pay directly, which FlexiSAF is responsible for that, or they have to pay it to the account and then send proof of payment? That is one.
Okay. Your second question.
And then the second question is, as the person managing the account, I need to guide the parent on how to use the software, right? So I am not a parent. So how can I have access to the parent interface if I don't have a child in that school?
Okay. Very well, very well. So starting with your second question, we have resources on the website safsims.com, right, where you can share. We've already done a step-by-step guide for the parents, where you can share with the parents, on how to use the system. And then also, if you have a parent that's also a staff in the school, you can actually also use that particular staff as a test run, so that you as an admin would be able to like navigate. Then for your first question, yes, the if you are joined earlier, the school actually creates add their bank details. So if you are the bosser, you add your bank details to the portal, right, for each of the classes. But if you have one bank account for all this, for every class or for every payment, just add it and make it default. Now on the parent side, this is the parent interface. If you can see my screen, I see what I'm supposed to pay for, right? If I want to use the amount, I can reduce it if I want to, right? And then I choose the payment gateway, right? So when I say make payment and proceed, right, I have the options to, as usual, pay through either using my card, a direct transfer, bank, USSD, or OPay, right? But since you as an admin have created a bank account, the money is sent to that bank account created for the class. So what SAFSIMS will do in partnership with Paystack is the bank account created for grade one, all the fee coming in from grade one will go there. Bank account created for grade two, all the fee coming in goes there, right? To you. And then the parent SAFSIMS also through the school portal, that's with your details, your school name details, the way you customize your school, send the parents a receipt automatically.
Okay.
Right. If you notice, it's bearing the school name, school logo, school everything to the parents.
No. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome, sir. Any other questions? I think we have just 3 minutes. Okay, someone said tried downloading the last 2 sessions but could not. Okay, so the meeting link the session link will be shared to your email. But for the previous ones, if you didn't get that email, it's on YouTube. SAFSIMS, you can just Google SAFSIMS on YouTube, or you would actually get the recordings for the last 2 sessions. But even this session will be sent to your email as well too. So you can use that to navigate to the last two sessions. They're all on the same page on YouTube, so you can see previous sessions. So yeah, I think that is that for now. Thank you everyone for joining in. We really do appreciate we joining in. And if you have any questions you want to still ask after now, you can always use our support of SAFSIMS to to send us a request if you need to. Okay. Yes, yeah. So you can check on YouTube. We have it, but this session will be sent to your email, and the same link to get the session, the same. Uh, that's where you also see the first two sessions. All right. Thank you everyone for joining in.
Thank you.
Do have a
Thank
very
you.
nice day, and we are rooting for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, better.
Sorry, this question I have, like our school, FGC Tiana here, we are on central billing system. So how do we incorporate the payment into the portal?
Federal College, is that what you mentioned, sir? So what's the name of the school? Sorry. Time is Edward. Okay, I think I understand. Again, Mr. Edward, you can actually send us a message. Support.SAFSIMS and would give a reply if you can still hear us, but we can't hear you anymore.